Okay, so we should be recording here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you all. So this is our course's Blackboard page, and it's got the announcement with the Zoom link that you all successfully used to get here. Everybody good to go? So this is also on the announcements. You've got the registration handout for my math lab. I'll get to that in more detail in a little while. But the first thing I want to start with is the syllabus. So if you want to log on to Blackboard while I'm doing this, you can kind of follow along here. But after you log in and find our Canvas or our Blackboard page here, if you click on syllabus, the syllabus and schedule, I didn't separate them as two things. The schedule is actually at the end of the syllabus, but if you open this up, this is what we are going to be talking about today. Go ahead and open this. All right, so as I mentioned, this is the place. We got pre-calculus algebra. Here's my name, Matt Husky. In addition to the sort of normal class times where I'll have a regular Zoom meeting, and I will just use the same link as the one that you used today. So I'm not going to keep sending out new links every single time. You can just use the same Zoom link, and I will be logged in at the same time, and we'll kind of go through in more detail how that'll work. Right after this class, I'm also going to have Zoom office hours. I haven't created that link yet, but I will pass that along to all of you as well. I've got my email address right here. A few of you have been in contact with me already. Email is definitely the best way to get in touch with me. So it's mhusky, M-H-U-S-K-Y. Please don't put an E in my last name. People have a tendency to do that, and I'm not sure why. It's spelled just like the breed of dog. But I know there are people who spell it differently, but just consider yourselves forewarned. I've had students complain in the past. It's like, why did you never reply to my email? And it's like, well, did you spell my name correctly? So anyway, I will try to get back to you within 24 hours. At the minimum, it'll be an acknowledgement that, yes, I am aware of your problem, and I may need to do some more stuff to follow up on it. But email is definitely a great way to get in touch with me. We've got all the kind of fine print about what the course is, the prerequisites you have to meet, and all these things. You can read that over at your leisure. We've also got the learning outcomes. There's basically a big list of things that by the end of the class you should know how to do. So when we get down here, so we've got the required course materials. What you absolutely positively need to have is access to my math lab. There are two ways that you can get my math lab. One of them is you can buy it directly from the Pearson website, the My Math Lab website, and I will be showing that to you in a little bit. If you buy the pre-calculus textbook we're going to work from, it should, if you buy a new copy of the book, I should say, it should have usually like this cardboard thing that you can tear out, and they've usually got like kind of this, almost kind of like a lotto scratch off thingy, and underneath it, it'll have your student ID code. So the first step to getting on my math lab is you need to get a student ID code. And then what you'll do is you'll go on to the website, register as a student. You'll have to provide them an email address, which it would probably be best if you used your STLCC email for that, but you can use a personal email address if you prefer. But after you then make your student account, you can then use the code that I posted, and that's back here in Blackboard. And let me go back here. So I'll go back to sharing my screen here. So in Blackboard, again, under the announcements, here we go, announcements, which are right here. So some of you I saw had already gotten on My Math Lab, which is great. But so you open up this file. After you make your student account with your student ID number, after you do that, then you have to go ahead and provide it the course code, and then that will actually let you enroll in the course after you have an account. So going back to the syllabus here, so the textbook is optional. If you want to have an actual hard copy of the textbook, more power to you. You don't necessarily need the book. You definitely need My Math Lab. Other things that you'll want, you'll definitely want some paper just to actually write stuff out in, rather than trying to do everything in your head. You will want to have a scientific calculator. The particular type of scientific calculator I recommend would be a TI-30. There are several versions of it. There's like a TI-32X, and there's a whole bunch of different ones. TI stands for Texas Instruments, and a TI-30 would be what I would recommend. Looks like Gabe has a question. What do you got for me, Gabe?
Would a TI-36 work?
A TI-36? It should, as long as it's a scientific calculator. And the big thing you're going to want is like a calculator that can do like parentheses. If it has parentheses keys and like square root keys, things like that, that should be okay.
Okay.
Yeah. I've not come across a TI-36 before, but let's see. My screen share thing is, okay, there we go. Let's just take a look at a TI-36 here. Yeah, that should be fine. The other thing that I'll show you while we're on the subject of calculators, something else you can do. There is a website that is Desmos. DESMOS. This is a free online calculator you can use. So you can go to the scientific calculator option here if you just do a Google search of Desmos. And then if you pick the scientific one, this is an online one that you can use if you so desire. So you could do something like 5 parentheses 2 plus 7 parentheses times root 4. So you could do that. So that's another option that is available to you. All right, so definitely have yourself a calculator. as I said, TI-30 is one I recommend. Those are usually pretty cheap. Looks like TI-36 is another good model. And you could also use the website Desmos that I was showing you just now. In case you didn't get the message, definitely get my math lab for the technology requirements. I'll be posting some things in Blackboard. I'll be using that to send out general announcements to you all like I did before. And I'll usually set that to send it as an email when I post an announcement. So other stuff, the grades are going to come from the online homework that's on my math lab, and I'll show you that in more detail in a minute. We're going to have 3 regular exams. Those will be in my math lab. And then we will also have a final exam that will also be given in my math lab. Let's see here. So what tab are we using to find the syllabus? All right, so let's go back to Blackboard here. So if you're in Blackboard, if you look on the left-hand side, you should have this menu here. It may be like collapsed or something, but after you, let's go back to the beginning. So when you log in, you should have your list of courses. And so if you go to our class, click on that link. And then off to the side here under the syllabus, that will be where you can find where the syllabus is. And then there's this Word document that you can open up, and that'll show you where the syllabus is at. You don't have that tab. That's interesting. Maybe I need to click a button to actually share it with you all. Let's try show link. Maybe that'll help. Okay, try it now. It may just be that I did not click the appropriate button. Okay, so, okay, it is there now. Fabulous. Okay, good to know. Where were we here? So with the syllabus, somehow I've ended up drawing on my screen. Not sure how that happened, but okay. Anyway, so let's take a look at the My Math Lab course. So when you log into My Math Lab, after you make an account, you should see something along these lines. And so what it'll have a calendar for you, and it'll have little dots showing you the different assignments that are due, that are coming up. And then if you scroll down underneath, it'll also list them out for you. You're going to see 2 major types of assignments. The first are going to be the homework assignments themselves. So like this is P.7a. It's actually a prerequisite section. So these, you open these up, it'll give you, this particular one has only 7 questions. P7b is quite a bit longer. It's got 26 questions in it. Some of those are probably a little bit shorter though, but anyway, you open these up, it'll give you math problems for you to work on. Usually you do get multiple attempts. It does grade them based on whether they're correct or not. So you do want to make sure that you try them and get the answers correct. If you're having trouble, they do have little buttons you can click where you can have it direct you to some help for that specific question. And And if you get it wrong, I think usually you get like 3 attempts to keep trying the problems in case you run into problems. The other thing that I want to show you is there's going to be another set of assignments that are called lecture. So if you open up this first one here, this is lecture P.7. This is going to be a whole bunch of stuff to help you get a handle on the material here. So it's got, this first thing is a PowerPoint that you can read and follow along. It'll also open up the relevant section of the textbook. This is part of the reason why you don't necessarily need an actual physical copy of the textbook, because you can open this thing up in my math lab and it will show you what the actual textbook looks like. It does sometimes take it a minute to load, so in some ways I've now got an error. That's lovely. Okay. Well, anyway, so you can open this thing up and look at what the actual textbook looks like. There's also a PowerPoint slide that you can open and follow along with. And then the big thing that it's got a whole bunch of videos that you can watch. And I mean, you can rewind them and watch them over and over again in case you missed something. And it's got all these videos here that you can watch. So here's Melissa. She's good times right there. So anyway, so we'll go ahead and close that. So it's got pretty much anything and everything you could possibly want to know to help you learn the material. So the other thing I'll point out, you actually do get homework points for completing the lecture assignments. This will be the easiest assignment in the world to complete, because all you gotta do, open the thing up, start the video, download the PowerPoint or the PDF of the textbook, and you will actually get homework points for completing the lecture activities. It's kind of like a participation grade. So when we meet online, I will be available during both my office hour time that I shared with you and also during like the normal class period time. But that, for those Zoom meetings, if you have like a specific question where you'd like my help to go over a homework problem, like, you know, you've read the book, you've looked at the PowerPoint, you've watched the videos, you're still not getting what it is that they're expecting of you, then that will be a time where you can log in during using the Zoom link, the same Zoom link we're using now. You can log in, you can say, hey, Mr. Husky, this is a math problem that's stumping me. Can you walk me through it? Can you help me out? So that'll be what our class sessions will consist of. It's basically me sort of as homework help boot camp. With the online component of this class, honestly, I mean, you can complete all of this stuff on your own. You can do it at any time that you like. You can watch these lecture videos. You can watch them in the middle of the night or whatever works for your schedule. And as far as like the attendance goes, I'm basically going to just keep tabs because I can, on my end of things, I can log into my math lab. It'll tell me when you logged in. It'll show me how long you worked. It'll show me what you worked on. I know some people, for their financial aid, they do need to make sure that they're in good standing for their attendance. If I can log into my math lab and see that you're logging in regularly, completing work in a timely fashion, if you don't specifically come to the Zoom meeting at this specific time, that's okay. I will be here for you to help you and answer questions. But people may have work schedules, or maybe they get sick, or whatever it is. You can complete this class kind of on your own time whenever it works for you. So let's go back to the syllabus. So that kind of goes for the attendance policy. So this is what I was just saying. Attendance will be logged based on your time in my math lab. The other thing I'll say is, officially we have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday class. Like maybe you have a part-time job and they schedule you to work and you couldn't actually sit at your computer from 11 to 1 like the schedule says. If you do a bunch of hours on Thursday and then don't attend Friday, that's fine. I'm flexible. As I said, the main thing is I just need to be able to go into my math lab and see that you're regularly completing things in a timely fashion. So late assignment or homework assignments, they're going to be due each Friday. Please complete them on time. If something comes up, let me know, and I can set it to accept a late submission, but definitely stay on top of the work and make sure that you complete your work on time. As far as the exams goes, those will also be given on my math lab. You won't be able to see any yet because I haven't activated them, but as we get closer to our first exam, you'll be able to complete the exams on my math lab. The way those will work, I will open up the exam for the particular week that you're supposed to take it, and then you'll have a window of time to complete it. So I may open it Sunday night, and then you may have to have it finished by Friday night. And you could take it Monday afternoon, you could take it Thursday morning, you could take it Wednesday, or you could take it Friday right before the deadline, you could take it Wednesday at 3 a.m. or whatever you need to do. As long as the exam is completed by its due date, you have the flexibility to complete it within that window. Homework, you get multiple attempts. The exams, you only get one attempt, and that's it. If you run into some kind of technical problem, like maybe your internet connection crashes or the possums that live in your attic start going rabid, I don't know, whatever. You run into some sort of problem, you're not able to complete the exam in one sitting, you can send me a quick email, say, hey, I was trying to take my exam, my computer blew up, whatever. Just let me know that, and I can go in and reopen it for you so that you can finish. When it comes to the exams, you do need to finish them in one sitting. You do have a time limit to complete them. It'll probably be about 60 minutes. If there's anyone who has any kind of disability accommodations, and one of the things on there is that you get extended time, I should have received most people's documentation if anyone has anything from the disability office. But just to follow up with me, go ahead and send me an email letting me know you're needing to make use of your accommodations. And a lot of people have a double time or extended time modifier. So just give me a heads up, send me an email about that. And then when the test is coming, I can adjust the time limit. So instead of 60 minutes, it'll give you 120 minutes. So those are policies related to the exams. One other thing I'll say about the exams, and I'll get to this in more detail when we come up to our first one. With the exams, well, there's actually two things I want to say. You are allowed to use notes and like the textbook and such. You can use those while you're taking your test. So when you take notes from like the lecture videos, I would strongly encourage you to write that stuff down and follow along. And then when you're taking the exam itself, I wouldn't waste time trying to hunt for the specific video you are needing. And I don't want to, since you have a time limit, I wouldn't, if I were you, I wouldn't bank on opening the video right then and trying to do it during the test. But I would definitely encourage you to actually write down and take the notes of the video lectures. And then you are permitted to use lecture notes from the class while you take the exam. You could also use the textbook if you so desired. The one thing that you are not permitted to do is you should not be working with another person in any fashion. You shouldn't be working with a classmate. You shouldn't be working with a tutor. You shouldn't be working with like your brother-in-law who's really good at math, whatever. The work on the test does need to be your own work without outside input from another person. But you can, as I said, use notes. That is legit. The other thing regarding the tests, as you complete the problems and, you know, show your steps, show your work, write it down on a piece of paper, what I will ask you to do when the tests are due is I also will want you to send me either a scan PDF or like pictures of the work that you did, and I can use that to award partial credit. My math lab is only going to mark things right or wrong. Maybe you have the right answer, but you just typed it in incorrectly. Something like that. Maybe you finished the problem, but then the timer ran out just as you were writing it, whatever. You will have an opportunity to submit your written work along with the test, and I will use that to award partial credit points on the test. So academic integrity, don't cheat. Cheating's bad. I already talked about how it needs to be your own work. So disability stuff, like I mentioned, if you have an accommodation, send me an email just to give me a heads up about the details of that. And in particular, if you're needing extended time on your exams, just let me know, and I can adjust the time limit in my math lab. Here's social distancing things at the end, which since we're only going to meet online, probably aren't as pertinent to us, but there you go. Here's the schedule of our class. So we're doing roughly 3 sections a week here, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little bit less. The first exam is going to be coming your way the last week of September, getting into the beginning of October. We've got a really long unit here of some of the prerequisite sections, P7, P8, and P9, and then all the stuff from Chapter 1, and Chapter 1 is really long. So mark your calendars for that, and you will see the exam posted on my math lab, and then you'll have a window of time between September 28th until October 4 or so to complete that exam. And you will, like I said, have to finish that in one sitting. So that's kind of the outline of the topics that we're going to cover. So in short, you can complete this class pretty much exclusively online. I will be available to you using the same Zoom link during our regularly scheduled sessions. If you're going to come, please come with like specific homework questions that you'd like to ask about. I'm not going to have anything particular planned. I'm just going to be here available for you to help you if you've tried reading the book, if you've tried looking at the PowerPoints, watching the videos. If you're having trouble, I'll make myself available to you to help you out. So that's, I think, largely all the stuff that I wanted to talk about as far as the syllabus is concerned. Something else, just for your information, I am recording this and I'll put it on Blackboard, this video on Blackboard, so that if you need to come back to anything I've said on the Zoom session, it'll be there. That's basically all I have. Definitely try to get into my math lab sooner rather than later. If you run into any problems, please don't hesitate to email me. I've been in contact with a few of you already. So there's nothing else I can think of. If anyone has a question, you're definitely welcome to hang out and ask me. But if not, like I said, log in, get your account set up, start watching the videos, and good luck to you. Still having trouble finding the course home on my math lab. Okay, so let's see. So Allison, you can turn your microphone on if you have one. Have you been able to log into my math lab okay?
Yeah.
Whoop.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I paid for like the $100 one,
Okay.
and then my course home says your content has been opened in a new browser window.
Okay.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. One thing to know about my math lab is you do have to let it do like pop-up windows, because sometimes, like when I log in, it gives me like this little like yellow alert line saying that it's trying to open a pop-up window. And usually like on mine, I have a gray button that I have to click, and then I can say, yes, I give it permission to open pop-ups.
Okay, I got the calendar now. I think I'm good.
Okay, yeah, so you can see the calendar like I was showing earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, sounds good. Yeah, so if anyone else has a question, definitely let me know. Like I said, don't hesitate to send me an email if you run into problems, and get logged in and try to get up and running, and let me know if you have problems. I'll see you later, everybody. So yes, and if you have questions from the homework, you can come on Wednesday. It's not necessarily required, but I will be here and online. If there's something you want to ask me, by all means, log in and I'll try to help you out. All right. Thanks a lot, everybody.